Okay, I'm finally doing it. I've been getting an overwhelming amount of messages asking me how do I feel about the reboot of Dallas on TNT. So I'm finally going to give you my overall feelings of the series, um, and tell you what I thought. I there's a couple episodes from the new series that I liked that I will spotlight later in future episodes. Hi, this is the Dallas After Show here on JLJ Media. And I also mentioned a piece of a scene that I liked in a previous episode and included Bobby and Annie that I liked. But this is my overall feeling. So I love the original, of course. It wasn't perfect, but I enjoyed it for the most part for most of the seasons. Yeah, I got some problems with things here and there, but I liked it. I enjoyed the movies, and like them. And like you out there, we're still hoping. Now my back itches all of a sudden. Must be the ghost of Larry Hagman. You know, there we go. Sorry. Yes, it's a back scratcher. Um, I like you hope they'd get back on television. I knew the some of the original actors were getting older, and so it made it, particularly Larry Hagman, Linda Gray, and Patrick Duffy. So I was hoping they could do it with them on the show. Also, as you know, and many of you may have heard, there was also you should check out. There's an article of David Jacobs that just came out a few days ago, talking about the same thing. So I just want you guys to know that. There is talks about a movie, an actual movie of Dallas. And my brother and I talked about that for years, and I thought it could work. Dallas is a universal story, right? Brothers, family, intrigue, boardroom battles. There are a lot of shows today that do that. It's not a far-fetched story, uh, or anything that's complicated. So I thought Dallas could work. Now the question is, was Dallas, some shows are passed down by generations, so they do well in other forms. But I wonder if Dallas was one of them, or was Dallas simply my generation or older? Would it be the only ones interested? There's enough of us out there, you know, it can still work. As hence all these Facebook groups and these blogs on Dallas. There's a big audience for it. But I thought it could work with the right people. And I heard names like John Travolta as JR, Jennifer Lopez as Sue Ellen. I've heard all these names. I'm like, this could be intriguing. As you know, when they've redone shows like Land of the Lost or Bewitched, they didn't work. Even though I thought Nicole Kidman was perfectly cast as Samantha Stevens, but it didn't work. So it would be approach and it would be story, which is number one, because Dallas was about story, that's about characters. It wasn't necessarily character driven, it was story driven. But it never came to fruition. Never happened. They didn't do it. When they announced on TNT, I thought, okay, basic cable. They could do a little more there. I'm like, oh, my back is itching. One spot right there. I can't seem to get it. That there is basic cable, they could do a little more possibly than it could do on a network TV. Would be kind of fun to see it on CBS again. That's where it was originally in America. But I was fine with it. I'm like TNT, Western TNT. Okay, okay, fine, okay. Could be a good fit. The ads were good. I liked the ads. If you remember the ads, see them on bus benches and the ads were good. I think, okay, they're putting some money into this. They're backing it up. Dallas is a great brand that never fully died. South Fork is still a place that's iconic. The characters of JR and Sue Ellen and Bobby, and that they're still in our brains. I thought, okay, this could totally work. I was like, okay, I'm ready. With anticipation, I watched the opening episode. Like many, I got great ratings for basic cable. I got great ratings in America. And the first episode, I actually enjoyed it. The introduction, a few little things here and there. There wasn't Teresa anymore. It was Maria or somebody else. They replaced the maid or whatever. That's fine. They showed different. The South Fork wasn't exactly looking at the same South, but I'm trying to think, okay, 20, 30 years in between, time has passed. They chose to pick up not right where they left off, but just somewhere newer. Bobby was remarried, which made sense to me. Totally made sense to me. And Annie, I love the introduction of Brenda Strong as Annie. Um, And so, I mean, they're on the right track. There was like, there to me, I was like, okay, this is good. Okay, I like the first few episodes. I actually really liked it. I was totally going, okay, I'm in. They're working it out. Uh, Pamela Rebecca is a character that I really enjoyed in the beginning, and then they just kind of they did that character to me had the most potential to be a villain, but like you could maybe almost like an Alexis type on that, like Dynasty for Alexis, like a villain that you could love to hate on some level. Um, they didn't fulfill that to me. I echo David Jacobs. I said this a lot. My brother and I had fights over this in the beginning, but now he saw what I was saying. As a writer myself, I thought, why isn't Christopher basically Jr. and John Ross basically like Bobby? Even though Josh Henderson was perfectly cast as John Ross, loved him as that. Just again, and here's the thing. So for the series, I didn't like the series. I'm just gonna tell you right now, I didn't care for the series. I watched all 3 seasons, didn't care for it. But to me, the casting was so good, and that was frustrating. They had a great cast. I mean, you added Judith Light on there and Harlan and all that. And also, I mean, Miss Plague is Harlan. I mean, that kind of stuff. That was very much. I liked kind of them. It was kind of creepy. The mother's son thing was kind of creepy. I enjoyed it. Judith Light did a great job. There were elements and adding, and she had and he had a daughter who was kind of like this victionist character. There was elements of it that I thought Miss Cedry, I didn't think did a good job as a producer and whatever. And I think, and I kept reading things that she wasn't really a fan of the original Dallas, which I guess for some people, for me, the best shows that are happening right now are and reboots are from people who are actual fans. Look at Cobra Kai, the new Dynasty. There are things that I feel like there are people you should be a fan, but not necessarily. You could get good writers, good producers who know the brand, and decide to create their own thing. I get that. That could happen also, but I just personally think you need somebody who knows the series and that could really dig out all the ins and outs to make a reboot happen. There were elements that were there. They don't do a Christopher. It seemed like Christopher was just a badly written character. There's this whole urban legend about how badly written the character is. He's an adopted Ewing. He has a adopted brother who is Bobby's son, Lucas, raised by Ray. I thought he'd come in second or third season, and I feel like they didn't need to bring in this like cartel guy or whatever, this whole thing from South America, whatever. Juan Pablo DePace was a great guy, and he's a nice actor and all that, but why bring him? They could have had other Ewings come in and be kind of the villains. There's James, his son Jimmy. I felt like seasons 2 and 3 and possibly 4 or 5, they could have kept it going. That could have been something where they could have brought them in fighting for Ewing Oil and Ewing this and Ewing that. I mean, it could have been just this whole kind of there's Terrence out there somewhere. I just feel like there are all these kind of in the music, and why I feel like Lucy should have been more front and center also. She should have been on there, maybe given her a daughter. A lot of things could have happened in 20, 30 years. Like, give her a daughter, or just have her like the matriarch of South Fork, so to speak. Like she takes over the tradition. I mean, I just felt like there were things that were just missing. Um, so I watched it. I almost hate and watched it. I watched it because it's Dallas. So I watched every episode. After the second episode, I claim I was going to watch the third one. To tell you the truth, I was like, no, I'm not watching it. Screw it. But I had to. I had to watch it. I had to watch it. I could not watch it. That ending. So it's Christopher Dad. I mean, like it's just like this. It's just like what I don't. Like I mentioned in another episode, when JR's funeral, you have Gary, Valine, and Lucy in the same room, and you don't have really a great scene with them. I mean, it's like I talked about Gary and Sue Ellen should have got together. It would have been natural. Um, there were a lot of things, like I said, there were a lot of things that were in place, but they just weren't executed correctly. The writing wasn't as good. But again, the actors were good. The actors all fit their parts. That's what made it so hard. You watch the ratings just went down and down and down. They try to keep, the great ads and great something like it. The ads are the best part of the show. I felt like it was a shadow of his former self. But I also understand with Dallas, there are so many ways they could have come back. That there are so many scenarios that you can't please all fans, obviously. There are 5, 6 different ways they could have come back. And I'm sure you guys out there could think of a few ways they could have came back and it would have been great also. I wanted the mix of older characters with the newer characters. I wanted the mix. Um, I really wanted that. Sue Ellen running for office, I thought was kind of a cool idea. They kind of botched that story. I didn't care for that. I mean, there's just so many things that went on. I keep sighing because as I'm talking to you guys out there about this, I'm getting more angry again on how that series really failed the original and the legacy. The movies were better. I mean, so that's not so. So I just to rest everybody how I feel about it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do a whole episode. There's a couple of episodes I'm going to do episodes on this show, so you'll see those and hear those when they come out. But this is my overall feelings it was a C plus possibly out of an A through F rating. I thought the reboot on Dallas TNT was C plus. A lot more could have been done, and I think it just wasn't. I mean, there was opportunities there, just where it didn't happen. But I also understand you can't please everybody. But for me, there are basics they could have done that they would have made the story better. I'm James Lott Jr. Our after show is on every streaming service you want to listen to it. And it's on YouTube on my channel, JLJ Media. Thank you to all the Dallas Facebook groups and to the Dallas chat rooms. I love you guys for the comments and your feelings. Please share your feelings about how you liked it. If you liked it, there are folks who loved it. So please tell me why you loved it. Tell me why you loved this series. And if there's anyone, I'm opening this is my first time saying this. If there's anyone who wants to come on the show and talk Dallas with me, message me, comments below, whatever. Let me know where I can reach you and let's talk about it. And maybe have you on the show as a guest if you want to and help me talk about it. Let's see if anybody out there wants to do that. It's done through Zoom. So anybody can talk, anybody can come on. If you have a Zoom connection, you can come on and talk to me about it. You can follow me at James Lott Jr. and I will see you next time.